Sergeant at Arms, you may draw the bar and open the doors. Honorable Senators, we will go back to statements. And there's a statement by Senator Eddie Okech. Senator Eddie Okech. We'll drop the statement by Senator Eddie Okech. Senator David Wakoli, your statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. On the recognition of Emmanuel Wanyonyi as the 2025 World Athletics Male Track Athlete of the Year. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on a matter of national concern celebrating an extraordinary achievement by one of our nation's brightest sporting talents, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, who has been crowned as the 2025 World Athletics Male Track Athlete of the Year. Mr. Speaker, sir, at only 21 years of age, Emmanuel Wanyonyi has distinguished himself as one of the greatest middle distance runners of this generation. The 2025 season marked a truly exceptional year for him, defined by consistency, dominance, and historic performances on the global stage. He clinched the World Championship medal in Tokyo in the 800 meters, winning in a remarkable championship record of 1 minute, 41 seconds, and 44 milliseconds. This victory, on the back of his outstanding earlier triumph at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, where he captured the gold medal with a stunning time of 1 minute, 41 seconds, and 19 milliseconds, making him the third fastest performer in history. Mr. Speaker, sir, Wanyonyi's accomplishments did not end there. He went on to secure the 2025 Diamond League title and produced 4 of the 6 fastest 800 meter times in the world this year, cementing his status in the most dominant 2-lap runner of the season. This personal best of 1 minute, 41 seconds, and 11 milliseconds now places him joint second on the all-time list, just behind Kenya's own David Rudisha, the world record holder. His award marks a rare moment where a Kenyan athlete edged out a sprinting megastar, Noah Lyles, in a major global category, reaffirming Kenya's continued relevance beyond long-distance races. By winning this award, Emmanuel Wanyonyi becomes only the third Kenyan man in history to be honored as World Male Track Athlete of the Year, following in the footsteps of global icons David Rudisha, Eliud Kipchoge, who went all to win the overall global award. His fearless front-running style, discipline, and humility continue to inspire millions of young athletes across the country and reaffirm Kenya's global reputation as a powerhouse in athletics. Mr. Speaker, sir, Wanyonyi grew up in poverty as part of 11 siblings in a small village in Western Kenya and dropped out of school at the age of 10 to herd cattle in order to support his family, but was later discovered by teachers who helped him return to school and pursue his running talent. His story exemplifies that with resilience and determination and community support, one's background does not have to be a barrier to achieving success and gaining global recognition. His career has been marked by rapid rise, including winning the World Under-20 Championship in 2021, silver in the 2023 World Championship, and setting a personal best that is the third fastest 800-meter time ever. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, I wish to congratulate Emmanuel Wanyonyi for bringing immense pride and honor to our nation. His achievements remind us of the greatness that Kenyan youth can attain when talent is nurtured, supported, and given opportunity to flourish. The Senate applauds his commitment, resilience, and excellence, and encourages all relevant institutions to continue supporting athletes who fly our flag high on the world stage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator Mariam Sheikh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, statement on the obstruction of the Great Migration Corridor by private luxury hotel lodge on the Mara River. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on the matter of national concern regarding development and operation of the private luxury lodge within a recognized wildlife migration corridor in Masai Mara ecosystem. Mr. Speaker, the Mara River is a critical lifeline for wildlife and local communities, and constructions along its riparian zone threaten this fragile ecosystem through habitat disturbance, pollutions, and disruption of established migration routes. Mr. Speaker, establishment of this facility, together with associated land use change, risk obstructing the Great Migration Corridor, accelerating the environmental degradations, and adversely affecting water resource in the area. Furthermore, the report indicates that the attempt by Maasai elders to oppose the construction were met with a gang order, raising a serious constitutional and community right concern. In the statement, the committee shall raise the following. 1, legality, validity, and circumstances under which approval, permits, or licenses were granted for both private lodge in the migration corridor and Maret-associated development on the Mara River, including whether the environmental impact assessments were conducted in accordance with the Environmental Management and Coordination Act. 2, whether the development complied with rapid reserve requirements, statutory setups, regulations, and Water Acts, EMCA, and application land use applied planning frameworks. 3, the immediate action taken by the national government and Narok County government to address obstruction of the migration corridor and any environmental harm arising from the development. 4, the extent to which meaningful public participation was undertaken in line with the Article 10 and 69 of the Constitution and address the report of intimidations and suppressions targeting the community members. 5, accumulative ecological, cultural, and socio-economical impact, the large-scale hospitality development within the Masai Mara ecosystem and outlining the long-term mitigations or preventing measures. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget regarding the disbursement of the Road Maintenance Levy Fund, RMLF. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, they should submit the total collection under the Road Maintenance Levy Fund for the last 5 financial years from the financial year 2021-2022 to 2025-2026, including the status of the collection to date. Number 2, they should indicate by way of tabular presentation how the funds were disbursed and to which specific entities and to which specific projects or activities, stipulating the amounts disbursed to each project by county. Speaker, would you kindly protect me from Senator Cherargei? I don't know why he must always disrupt when people are speaking.
No, it's okay.
Speaker, the facts
Senator.
speak for themselves. You can see they're just...
It's okay. Senator Moore, proceed. You are protected.
Uh,
I'll allow her to be heard in silence.
Speaker, he's continuing to actually disrupt and you're just allowing him to do it. Yeah? You are talking throughout, surely.
It's okay,
Are you a
Senator.
special person?
Senator Muma,
Number 3,
Cherargei, little. It is true, Muma. It wasn't him talking.
he was. I heard him.
It was Methu. But it's okay. Let us hear the senator in silence. It's okay.
Number 3, the committee should share what legislative authority or mechanism, if any, the National Treasury used to release the RMLF collection to counties in June financial year 2024-2025, and yet the National Treasury was on record having stated that RLMF proceeds cannot be disbursed to counties without a substantive law in place. The committee should indicate the levels of violation of the Public Finance Management Act and related regulations in the administration of the RLMF. And 5, the committee should advise on the appropriate legal framework or mechanism that should be established to guide on the fair and equitable disbursement by the National Treasury of the RLMF funds in a manner that respects the principles of the Constitution and devolved governance, in particular, to ensure that county governments equitably benefit from these funds. I thank you, Senator Catherine Muma, MP. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senators, we will now allow comments on the statements, starting with Paul Thangwa. Senator Paul Thangwa.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Yes, I was baptized Paul, but I go with what I'm known, Karongo Adangwa, Senator of Kiambu. Mr. Speaker, I wish to comment on the statement requested by Senator Mundigi, the issue of people in Qatar, Mr. Speaker, Kenyans in Qatar. And I want to include not just Qatar, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Thangwa, just to interrupt you briefly, honorable senators, we will spend 20 minutes on the statements. So please, each speaker, try to be as brief as possible. Proceed, Senator Thangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is a matter of concern that the Kenyans or people in diaspora, and especially in Gulf, that is Qatar, Dubai, and Saudi Arabia, Mr. Speaker, have cried for too long, crying for the Senate, for the members of Parliament or the National Parliament, that they are not taken care of when they're in these countries, Mr. Speaker. They want us to compare with countries like Philippines, Mr. Speaker, where the people are protected by their government whenever they travel to these countries, Mr. Speaker. And as I speak, Mr. Speaker, I'm really sad of what is happening to Kenyans in Saudi Arabia, and especially when they speak out. The embassy of Kenya in Saudi, Mr. Speaker, sometimes I feel like it's helpless or is unable to help when Kenyans speak for what they're going through in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Speaker, we have a Kenyan by the name Joseph Kiongozi who has been detained for nothing, Mr. Speaker. And he was detained for speaking out, for saying Kenyans are suffering in the streets, Mr. Speaker. And that Kenyan, when he's detained, his wife dies, Mr. Speaker. And it is very, very a sad affair, Mr. Speaker, that the Kenyan is detained, the wife dies, then their child is left without father and without the mother, and then the body of the wife is brought to Kenya, of course, Mr. Speaker, and the embassy is unable to assist why Joseph Kiongozi is detained in a faraway country. He comes from Kakamega, Mr. Speaker. The wife who is there today comes from Siaya. And the women and the people who are in the streets because they cannot get papers to come back to Kenya are from all over the country, from Vihiga, from Kiambu, from wherever, Mr. Speaker. I think as we look into this statement by Mundigi on the issues of Qatar, let's speed up the processes of trying to find out why Kenyans are suffering, Mr. Speaker. Because we shouldn't let Kenyans suffer just because somebody took them there through agencies that are not licensed or that are not caring, Mr. Speaker. And it is also very sad that this committee, Mr. Speaker.
Pause his time. What is your point of order, Senator Hamida?
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, I was with my brother, Senator Thangwa, in Saudi, and I know what actually what his pain is. But I went round, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I went to Jeddah. I had all the time with the Jeddah office. And the Jeddah office actually showed me, in fact, it was the same day that they had sent about 12. In fact, I've just asked the ambassador to send me the list. 12 Kenyans to Kenya, back to Kenya, and you know, with their families. Oh, I'll tell you the standing order. Wait, give me that. Standing order 105, Mr. Speaker. Standing order 105,
allow
Mr.
the
Speaker.
senator to speak. No, she said
105,
105.
Mr. Speaker.
Allow her.
Actually, I'm not even debating, so I just wanted actually, in fact, I was just trying to clarify also to Senator Thangwa that I went out of my way to go to Jeddah to check on this. And in fact, even Senator Thangwa, I realized the stories that, of course, we were getting from the ground are so different from what the ambassadors were discussing about. And no, seriously, those are two different issues. In fact, I even want to say that we need to go on that mission, Senator Thangwa, again, to inquire, and I'll send you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Hamida, you're giving more of information than point of order.
Okay, was that then point of information, Mr. Speaker?
You should have requested Senator Thangwa. What was out of, if there was nothing out of order, let us allow Senator Thangwa to proceed. Senator Thangwa, conclude.
Just 1 minute, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think as a Senate, we need to form an ad hoc committee for the Senate to travel to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, and to Dubai to save Kenyans there, Mr. Speaker, because they are afraid to talk.
Senator
because
Thangwa,
if they talk, Mr. Speaker, they're either arrested, they're either sent home, or they are either intimidated, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Thangwa, do you want to be informed by Senator Hamida?
Mr. Speaker, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Okay. Senator Ogola.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the statement by Senator Hamida on the state of lack of an ICU at Pumwani Hospital. Honorable Speaker, it breaks my heart and the heart of every leader who cares and every Kenyan that the status of Pumwani, a maternity designed hospital that delivers over up to 500 children in a day, can go for a long time without an ICU, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to me it is not only evil, it is criminal, and for me it is a sign of, it is an act of genocide, Honorable Speaker. It is by design that the government that should be availing an ICU in Pumwani Hospital should decide, despite the resources that this house gives to the counties, Pumwani has no ICU, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, somebody once said, and I concur with them, that no woman should die while giving birth. But the lack of ICU in Pumwani is a major cause of the deaths we have of women, and not only women and children in Pumwani. Honorable Speaker, it is sad that when a mother that is not able to give birth naturally and may end up needing the assistance of ICU services, they have to be referred to other hospitals that may be even far away. Honorable Speaker, this is a matter that must be attended by the Health Committee, like yesterday. And I see in the House, the Honorable Chair, Governor Senator Mandago is in the House. That Senator, it is shame that we do not have an ICU in Pumwani Hospital. And Honorable Speaker, it is sad that there are basic drugs that cost as little as 100 shillings and 150 shillings. That when we have even premature births, we lose such babies because an hospital or a facility is not able to afford a drug that is as cheap as 150 or 100 that should support the lungs as that process takes place. Honorable Speaker, sometimes I wonder whether it is a sin for women to give birth. And as a country, that must be a priority to us. And Honorable Speaker, as the Health Committee goes to look into this, they must give us definite targets, definite timelines in which this ICU can be availed. Honorable Speaker, if 30 women or 50 women are giving birth at the same time, which happens in Pumwani because of the numbers, it is unfortunate if we have even 5 of them that needs ICU services and cannot be granted. They have to be referred. Honorable Speaker, Kenyans do not deserve that. Women do not deserve that. Newborns do not deserve that. And we must go ahead. Measures must be put in place by this committee. Visit the place, visit the county government of Nairobi, Honorable Speaker, and as women, we will not accept that. Honorable Speaker, you know all the lives that we have here. Even the capital development of a country begins from a mother and a child. Honorable Speaker, I support and I detest that kind of treatment, and I say it is an act of injustice to women, an act of injustice to Kenyans, an act of injustice to humanity. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Senator John Kinyo.
Asante Bwana Spika. Nasimama kuunga mkono taarifa iliyoletwa na Mondigi kuhusu masaibu wanayopitia Wakenya katika nchi ya Qatar. Bwana Spika, jambo hili limekuwa ndo na sugu kwa sababu kila wakati nakumbuka hata seneti iliyopita hili jambo liliangaziwa, likaongewa kwa kirefu. Bwana Spika, ni juzi tu Senator Karungo Wathang'wa alileta taarifa kama hii kuhusu masaibu wa Kenya wanayopitia katika nchi ya Saudi Arabia. Bwana Spika, kitu cha kwanza tunaambiwa kwamba wananchi wa Kenya wanaenda kufanya kazi katika nchi hizo, wakifika, kitu cha kwanza ukifika unanyang'anywa pasipoti yako. Bwana Spika, Bwana Spika, katika nchi ya Saudi Arabia Wakenya wanapitia mengi. Kuna Mkenya ambaye ametoka Laikipia pale Nanyuki ambaye anaitwa Josephine Wanjiru Mombi. Bwana Spika, tayari ako katika nchi ya Saudi Arabia akipitia magumu. Bwana Spika, na ilhadi tumeambiwa na Hamida ya kwamba ati kuna balozi ambaye anashughulikia Wakenya na tayari amerudisha Wakenya 12. Bwana Spika, 12 ni wachache sana Bwana Spika, kwa sababu wengi wako katika hali hiyo ya matatizo. Hawana pasipoti zao, tayari zimechukuliwa, na ukiongea unaambiwa ya kwamba unashikwa na unawekwa ndani. Bwana Spika, kwa hivyo ni jukumu ya wizara ambayo inahusika ya mambo ya kigeni Bwana Spika, waangazie haya maneno. Isikuwe hii seneti kazi yake ni kuongea tu na hakuna jambo lolote Bwana Spika linafanyika Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo tunauliza kamati ambayo inahusika Na nataka kuunga mkono Karongo Athang'wa vile alivyosema ya kwamba kunapaswa kutengenezwe jopo maalum la kushughulikia hayo mambo na yashughulikiwe kwa dharura, Bwana Spika, kwa sababu Wakenya wanapitia magumu. Wengine wanapata watoto, wananyang'anywa watoto. Bwana Spika, niliona juzi katika vyombo vya habari ya kwamba kuna taxi driver ambaye alijipata matatani kwa sababu yeye ni mgeni, unapata wanapitia mambo magumu. Kwa hivyo wizara yetu ya mambo ya kigeni wachunge Wakenya walioko huko nje na wajisikie kwamba ni Wakenya. Bwana Spika, nataka kuunga mkono taarifa iliyoletwa na seneta wa Bungoma Wakoli na kuwapongeza Wakenya ambao wamefanya vizuri kwa mambo ya riadha, wamebombea, Bwana Spika. Na tusiwe kazi yetu tu ni kuwasherekea ambapo wamefanya mazuri, Bwana Spika. Lakini baada ya hapo, kwa sababu ukiangalia kama huyu ambaye anaitwa Wanyonyi, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, amefanya vizuri, tunamshabikia, tunampongeza. Lakini Bwana Spika, baada ya miaka kama 5 unapata hawa vijana wetu ambao walipeperusha bendera yetu katika nchi za kigeni na tukajulikana sana, hatimaye unawapata wakiishi hapa Kenya katika maisha ya uchochole na hakuna mtu anawakumbuka, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo si kuwakumbuka tu wakati wanapeperusha bendera yetu juu, lakini vile vile, Bwana Spika, tunapaswa tuwapatie mafunzo maalum jinsi wakipata zile hela zao vile ambavyo wanaweza kuziegeza kwa sababu ya maisha yao ya usoni, Bwana Spika. Kwa sababu hawa ni vijana, na ni vijana, nikimwangalia kama huyu Emmanuel naona ni kijana wa miaka 21, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo anaweza kuwa hana yale, na nikifuatilia vile taarifa ambayo imeletwa na seneta wa Bungoma, amesema hata alikuwa amewacha masomo, baadaye walimu wakaona, wakamtafuta, akampata, wakamleta. Kwa hivyo kwa mambo ya uwegezaji anaweza kosa kujua. Kwa hivyo yale mambo ambayo anayapata anaweza kosa kutoegeza vizuri, hatimaye maisha yake ya usoni yakamwendea segemnege. Kwa hivyo, Bwana Spika, tunapaswa hawa vijana wetu tuwafunze vile ambavyo wanaweza kujikimu kwa maisha yao ya usoni, na ni kamati ambayo iko hapa yetu ya michezo na huduma ya jamii waweze kuangalia hayo mambo, ndio hawa vijana wetu katika maisha yao ya usoni wasiishi kwa hali ya uchochole. Nashukuru Bwana Spika kunipa fursa hii na nasema asante.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to comment on 2 statements. First is the statement by Senator Mundigi on the labor rights and the suffering that our people go through in Middle East. And then secondly is a statement by Senator Hamida on the lifting of the logging ban in our forest. Mr. Speaker, the issue of the suffering of Kenyans in the Middle East is an issue that has come to this House several times. Almost every week, senators are coming here with statements about their constituents who have either been killed, maimed, or they are stranded, or something worse has happened to them in the Middle East. And Mr. Speaker, I wonder why we are not dealing with this matter with finality. We are, and even in the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, there has always been issues around labor rights of our Kenyans who are in the Middle East. Mr. Speaker, you wonder why these issues continue to happen, and yet we have authorities in this country. We have the Ministry of Labor, we have the Ministry of Foreign Relations and whatever, and Diaspora Affairs, and these things continue to happen. Mr. Speaker, the real truth about what is happening is the bogus recruitment firms which facilitate the travel of these people to these countries. And the government knows who these firms are. Some of them are owned by people in government, including ministry officials. And I dare to say, some of them are even owned by members of the Labor Committee in the National Assembly. I dare to say that. So I think the starting point is for us
to face the bull with his horn and demand for the audit, proper audit of these recruitment firms. Who are the owners of these companies? We can easily get that, Mr. Speaker. Then we start from there and find out, are these companies properly regulated, properly licensed by the government? I'm sure if we did that, we'll be able to get somewhere in trying to resolve this problem. The second statement is the issue of ban on logging. Mr. Speaker, it is very interesting that in Mao Forest, a few years back, it was almost becoming a desert because of the logging that was happening there. It had to take the leadership of the late ODM party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, to stand firm and say he's prepared to go and cook mandasi in Kibera to protect that forest. And now, Mr. Speaker, the water levels in Mara River have gone up, the water levels in Lake Victoria and all the environments there, things have improved. But now, our government tells us that they have a target to plant 15 billion trees. Even before they even get 1% of that target, they are telling us that we should allow logging in one of our biggest forests in this country. Mr. Speaker, what a contradiction is that? That you are saying one thing and taking away with another. Mr. Speaker, these are the contradictory statements that we continue to get from the government. And I want to also question the wisdom around the lifting of logging in our forest when we have a target of 15 billion trees. Mr. Speaker, 15 billion is not easy. It's not easy. You can imagine the world population is not near 15 billion, but we want to plant 15 billion trees. So if really we want to plant 15 billion trees, then we should not be talking about logging. We should protect the trees that we have and plant more so that we can achieve the target. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I support the statements.
Senator Samson Cherargei.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to comment on three statements. One is by Senator Alexander Munyi Mundigi, Daktari, and to congratulate him for bringing home the Mbere North Wamudende, the Member of Parliament. Is becoming indomitable in Embu politics. Secondly,
Senator Cherargei, do you want to be informed by Senator Osotsi?
No, I have heard him sufficiently. Mr. Speaker, secondly, I want to say this issue of Kenyans who are suffering in Qatar, Dubai, Middle East, and a diaspora is a serious issue. The government formed a diaspora department, Mr. Speaker. We need to summon the PS and CS of Foreign Affairs and PS of diaspora to come and tell us what is happening. Mr. Speaker, because if you look at 2024, the Kenyans who gave us foreign exchange revenue, Anna, was 4.95 billion US dollars. That is around 640.8 billion in foreign revenue, Mr. Speaker. It has even surpassed tea and coffee, the traditional foreign exchange, Anna, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's so sad. So we must, I agree with committee, we must form another committee. Mr. Speaker, with my expertise and my experience, I'm willing to be the chair of ADO committee so that we can fix this issue of Kenyans and deputized by Senator Ogola so that we can fix this issue Kenyans are facing abroad. And I know Senator Otsosi will be a member. Mr. Speaker, secondly, you can imagine the other day, I saw one Brian Kiplimo, 26-year-old, who was working for Kabi Tax Company in Dubai, being made sexual advances by a man which was captured in taxi, Mr. Speaker. How do you, Mr. Speaker? It is even immoral. It is unfair, Mr. Speaker. A man making sexual advances against Brian Kiplimo, Mr. Speaker, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs must do something. We must bring Brian Kiplimo home. Mr. Speaker, are you aware no one has been prosecuted? You saw that video where Brian Kiplimo was driving in Dubai and somebody wanted to make sexual advances towards him, Mr. Speaker. We must be told what happened. Brian Kiplimo deserves dignity and respect. That is the core. of our Constitution, Article 27, Mr. Speaker, in right, Mr. Speaker, in right to dignity of human. You can imagine, Mr. Speaker, you are assaulting somebody. You know, it's unfair. It's unfair, Mr. Speaker. With this era of many things like LGBTQ, Mr. Speaker, it's very unfair. I feel for Brian. How can he stand before his family or even friends, Mr. Speaker? So that thing, the Ministry of Affairs, the diaspora peers should be in Dubai fixing that issue. We cannot live. They are giving us 640 billion, Mr. Speaker. And those are secondly, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of KDF, I agree. Even in Eldoret, we have similar issue, Mr. Speaker. In 2021, December on Christmas Day, 3 people were killed by KDF. No one has been prosecuted. On 26 November 2023, 4 local were beaten by KTF. No one has been prosecuted because of only land. In Kapchuruman area, in Kamagut Ward, near the RTS in Eldoret, Mr. Speaker. KDF is part of Kenya. KDF are Kenyans. They are our sons and daughters. That land belongs to those people who come from Eldoret, Mr. Speaker. We must ensure National Land Commission fixes this thing once and for all so that we can receive justice for that KDF land in Eldoret. Finally, Mr. Speaker, this issue of Pumwani lacking functional ICU is embarrassing. It looks like nothing is working in Nairobi City County, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge Nairobi MCS. When they met the former Prime Minister, they say 60 days, governor would have visited, fix some of these problems. Imagine Pumwani does not have a functional ICU. It's one of the biggest facilities in this town, in this city, Mr. Speaker. Governor Sakaja has failed to provide. I want to challenge the members of County Assembly, the MCS, to take action. The 60 days are over. Mr. Speaker, health under Article 43 is a human right. It's a basic human right. Even in Garissa County Referral Hospital, in Nandi Referral Hospital, Nairobi doesn't look like nothing. Everything is not working. From roads to hospital to garbage collection, Mr. Speaker. The MCS of Nairobi, I want to challenge you. The court the ball is in your court. 60 days are over, Mr. Speaker. We are ready to do the needful and fix Nairobi once and for all, to call out Governor Sakaja's government, which is not working. I think.
Senator Jackson Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to comment on 3 statements. The first statement is by Senator Mariam on the obstruction of the Great Migration Corridor by a private luxury lodge in the Mara River, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I've had the opportunity to look at the videos of wild beast migration across the Mara River, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, it is saddening to note that actually this facility is built on the wild beast migration corridor. It is evident, Honorable Speaker, when you see wild beasts running around within the hotel trying to cross the Mara River, and you find hotel workers with sticks, spears, and rungus and machetes trying to chase the wild beasts away from the hotel, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the committee should thoroughly investigate how this facility was licensed by the county, how they leased the land for that development, how the National Environmental Management Authority, Honorable Speaker, allowed, if at all they allowed, for the development of that facility, and what was the consideration. Honorable Speaker, this is a classical case of multinationals trying to thump on the rights of the local communities, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Masai Mara is a national heritage. The Masai community have been able to coexist with wildlife for the longest without conflict, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, this facility the committee must look at how this facility was licensed alongside other facilities, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, we must note that there is a rise of the number of facilities in the Masai Mara, which might affect the wildlife conservation efforts, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to also comment on the statement by Senator Amida on the issue of the ICU facility, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say as a committee, we shall definitely visit, but we want to ask the members to also note that a number of counties are facing the same challenges, Honorable Speaker, and there is need for every senator to really check what is happening within their counties, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on the statement by Senator Mundigi on Kenyans in Qatar and other countries, Honorable Speaker, I think it is not enough for us to just send workers to those countries. It is extremely important that the committee finds out from the relevant agencies whether we have bilateral labor agreements that guarantee the safety of Kenyans when they go to work in those countries. Finally, Honorable Speaker, is on the statement by Senator Amida on the issue of lifting of the ban on logging. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this. I don't agree with that statement, Honorable Speaker, because forests have what we call forest management plan. When the products in the forest are
30 seconds to conclude.
Honorable Speaker, I don't agree with that statement because forests have what we call forest management plans. And when the products are ready, Honorable Speaker, even when we don't log them, they go to waste. And those are billions of shillings, which are resources that needs to be collected and be used, Honorable Speaker. That the lift of the ban does not negate the fact that we need to plant 15 billion trees, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I would want to ask the committee to check whether we have a clear forest management plan on dealing with products that are ready for disposal in the market and how those areas that have been harvested are going to be replanted, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, I really don't support those statements, but I support the rest of the statements. Thank you very much, Honorable.
Honorable Mohammed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I am a Muslim by religion. And I want to remind this House, when the refugees fled from Somalia, they went to many places. Some went to Arab countries like Saudi Arabia, some went to Dubai, even Qatar, and some people went to Europe and America. Those people who went to refugees who went to Europe and America were received very, very well. They got excellent treatment and very good hospitality, Honorable Speaker. And those who went to Arab Muslim countries were humiliated, they were detained, and some of them suffered heavily. And they were deported. Some even lost their lives. Honorable Speaker, the statement by Senator Mundigi, although sometimes he calls me Shute, Shute, Shute. And I want to tell him today my name is Chute, not Shute. So, Honorable Mundigi, let me also congratulate him. He has delivered the MP seat in his county. So, Honorable Speaker, the issue Senator Mundigi raised is an issue the committees should look at this issue and deal with it. Honorable Speaker, our President, His Excellency Honorable Ruto, has done a lot. Even people going to Qatar. And through the agencies, he has done a lot. But what we need to do, as this committee, the committee should look at people are being, once you go to Saudi Arabia or even Qatar, Dubai, passports are confiscated. Dormitories, they are living like cells, police cells and police prison, in the prison. So, Honorable Speaker, the committee should even visit Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and see how our people are suffering their food shortage. Honorable Speaker, there are issues, annual leave. They take leave once in 2 years. What law is this? They should go and see and talk to them. These are Muslim countries. These are people who believe in Islam. These are people who pray 5 times a day. These people, they go to Hajj. Honorable Speaker, I want to suggest something. There should be an organization led by Muslims, not SUPKEM, other institutions who can organize the issue of labor.
1 minute to conclude.
Thank you. There should be an organization that can lead that process and see how our people can get jobs in those Arab countries, but they should look at humanity, Honorable Speaker. So as I conclude, I want we don't want Supreme Council to take charge, because there are rogue leaders there. The chairman has been using pistols, shooting at young boys and girls. So this is something very serious. So we need to have an organization that is going to take care of labor issues going into Saudi Arabia, going into Qatar, and also Dubai. Honorable Speaker, I support this statement by Honorable Senator Mundigi.
Thank you, Senator. But Senator Chute, having listened to your submission, I am also aware that there are a lot of Kenyans in Dubai and in Qatar who have been employed in very decent jobs, and they are not being mistreated. And in Saudi Arabia as well, we have senior managers who are Kenyans working in very decent jobs. I think, Senator, as much as I agree with the statement by Mundigi, we also have to be fair to these countries. And it has nothing to do with religion. If there are people who are being mistreated, the religion does not teach people to mistreat other human beings. So we need to be fair to these Gulf countries. As a country, like what most senators submitted, we should have a policy that guides Kenyans in every country in this world. In that case, we shall go to the next order. Honorable Senators, we shall reorganize the order paper and go to order number 22. Clerk, read the next order.
Order number 22, motion, progress report of the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration on an inquiry into the diversity and inclusivity in the staff composition of state agencies in Kenya.
Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Allow me to table the report for National Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration. Honorable Speaker, I'm tabling this report pursuant to Standing Order 2281. The Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration is mandated to consider all matters. 1 minute. Some corrections, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to move this motion on the approval, or sorry, on the adoption of the Senate Progress Report on the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration on an inquiry into diversity and inclusivity in the staff composition of state agencies in Kenya, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 3rd October 2024. Honorable Speaker, allow me, under pursuant to Standing Order 2281, the Senate Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration, which is mandated to consider all matters relating to national and inter-community cohesion, equalization of opportunities, regional integration, and representation in the East African Legislative Assembly and the Pan-African Parliament. Mr. Speaker, sir, the report highlights the response received from various stakeholders concerning diversity and inclusivity in the staff composition of state agencies in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, in compliance with Article 125 of the Constitution, Section 18 and 20 of Parliamentary Powers and Privileges, Act number 29 of 2017 empowers the Senate and any of the committee to summon any person to appear before it for the purpose of giving information. The committee invited and met with many institutions, namely 29 state agencies, to respond to the inquiry. Honorable Speaker, I don't want to mention all the names because there are 29 because of time. But, Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that in the state corporations, the major issues are the PWDs. Honorable Speaker, this law says minimum of up to 5% should be people with disability in any organization, institution, or government agencies. The problem, Honorable Speaker, with the 5%, many organizations have not met. I think it's about not less than 95%. Honorable Speaker, and if you ask what issues are there, everybody says, all the institutions that came before us, they are talking about historical issues. An organization will talk about historical issues, Honorable Speaker. And our question is, when is these historical issues going to end? It will never end, Honorable Speaker, because this country is polarized. Any CEO that comes in will try and see how he can help his own people, his own community. That is a major issue we've raised, we've seen, which is 5% opportunity for people with disability, and we have only up to 5% of the institutions who have employed 5% opportunities for 5% of people with disability. Honorable Speaker, we've urged, we've asked, we've requested organizations to go out of their way and talk to organizations that are leading in issues of people with disability. They have said they will try, and we'll see in the next 1 year, 2 years, what will happen. Honorable Speaker, the other issue is advertisement. The way they advertise, Honorable Speaker, is through newspaper and mainly through their systems, which is within the organization. Honorable Speaker, we've urged them and requested them to advertise in, if possible, in local vernacular radio stations so that it can reach as far as Marsabit, Mandera, Garissa, Turkana, and even Wajir, and many, many other sectors or country, cities, towns, or counties in this republic. Honorable Speaker, on the issue of ethnicity, Honorable Speaker, two communities, mainly the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin, have dominated a larger percentage of the institutions in this country, Honorable Speaker. And, Honorable Speaker, always the institutions will blame this is historical issues. Honorable Speaker, historical issues has limits. I come from Marsabit County. Honorable Speaker, if you look at Marsabit County today, we have 14 diverse communities. And if only two communities are getting employed in this country, although we have people with PhDs, we have people who have finished, young boys and girls who have finished their master's degrees, and getting employment into those institutions becomes very, very difficult. What are we asking them to do? Please diversify. Call for people to come for interviews. In some instances, Honorable Speaker, somebody will come as far as from Moyale, Mandera, to come for an interview to Mombasa. And then out of about 10,000, 5,000, 6,000 people, they will pick only 100. And the rest will go back to their counties, spend a lot of money, and got into a lot of expenses. So, Honorable Speaker, what we are asking them to do, they need to go to all those counties, advertise in those counties, do the interviews in those counties, so that people can, without spending much money, they can get access to jobs. Why do you come from Mandera to be asked to come to Mombasa for interview, or even Nairobi, for that matter? So those are the things we've seen. The other issue, the issue of minorities, Honorable Speaker. Minority communities, especially, if I can mention some names, especially like Tharaka, Honorable Speaker. People think Tharaka are Merus. Tharakas are Tharakas. Merus are different. If you look at the people they've employed, they say these are Tharakas and Merus are the same. No, they are not. Honorable Speaker, look at El Molo, Rendile, Mijikenda. These are people who are supposed to be given jobs based on merits. Do they have enough education? Do they have degrees? Do they have masters? Yes, they do. But it is not easy to access employment in this country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, politicians also have played a major role in employing their own relatives. The other day we had NCIC before our committee. They employed 22 people without going through normal procedures. We asked them to redo the whole process, and I thank the CEO, he has accepted, and that's what they're doing. So what we are asking this country to do, please diversify. Talk to people, talk to young boys and girls in Marsabit, give them an opportunity. Those are the things which we need this country and the management of this country to look into. Honorable Speaker, the other issue is issue of human resource instruments approval by the Public Service Commission. We've invited them before our committee, and they are going to come again on the issue of human resources. And I think they are now doing better for these new commissioners are doing better than the ones who were there before. Honorable Speaker, Public Service Commission, what they are doing, they are seconding interns to some state agencies, Honorable Speaker. And these are not uniformly done. Honorable Speaker, I thank the President, our President, Dr. Ruto, for giving opportunities to these young interns. Honorable Speaker, about a week ago, the PS, about 2 weeks ago, the PS Housing told me they are going to employ thousands of interns into the issue of housing, affordable housing. And I was really impressed. So what we need to do, we want to see uniformity. If you pick somebody from Marsabit, from Mandera, mix these people, let them go to places. Take somebody from Mandera to Garissa, somebody from Nandi to Marsabit, and all those things, so that people can now interact. Young boys and girls can interact, can even marry each other. That is something we want to see in this country. Another issue, I am happy to state that what we have realized, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of gender. apparently, two-thirds gender rule has been observed by most institutions. And we are very happy to report that today, Kenya have many institutions have complied with the two-thirds gender rule. Some thing that we have seen, Honorable Speaker, even in counties, even your own county of Garissa, some people who are employed are over 65 years old. And they are talking about that they are giving these people an opportunity to teach other young boys and girls. That is a pretext that is unjustified, Honorable Speaker. Why do you wait for someone to see his grandchild who has gone through university, has a degree in engineering, grandson, and you are 65, 70 years old, 75, 76, 78. What are you doing there? So this is the things that we want the Senate to emphasize on, how the maximum age is 65, 60, and 65 for people with disability. That should be maintained, Honorable Speaker, so that we give our young boys and girls an opportunity also to get access to jobs. Honorable Speaker, when we were doing this report, we realized that there are some tribes who have sub-tribes amongst them, like, for example, the Kalenjin. So those things makes, if you say Kalenjin, it is a larger Kalenjin. So there are some other tribes in the larger Kalenjin who are disadvantaged. And we've noted, I cannot mention all the names, we've noted them in our report. The senators can look at them. The other issue, the other aspect also is on the Mijikenda. They have got some 9 sub-tribes. By the way, Kalenjin has 16. I think Senator Nandi can also talk about this. But the Mijikenda have 9. So we are trying our best to see how these other sub-clans can be also factored in. Let me take you to Luya. They have got 18 sub-tribes who are also, when you talk about Luya, there are several. So those are, even the Somali, Honorable Speaker, because you come from the same community, we have 10 sub-tribes from the larger Somali community. I cannot mention all the names. The Swahili have 20 sub-tribes, Honorable Speaker. Then we sat and we recommended that, number one, all state agencies familiarize themselves with the provision of the Constitution and other relevant laws regarding exclusivity in order to ensure compliance. Number two, the Public Service Commission should within 1 year conduct an audit of the laws regarding inclusivity and identifying of possible legislative gaps. 3, the agencies should develop and implement progressive human resource policies approved by the Public Service Commission. That also state agencies should adopt and implement recruitment terms so that it can be uniformity. Also, the state agencies should comply with the directives given by the Public Service Commission and the State Cooperation Advisory, SCAC, so that they bring their heads together and see how they can manage the issue of employment without hindering each other's program. Because sometimes an institution will tell the committee they have got approval from SCAC, and another will tell you we got it from Public Service Commission. These should be dealt with if both parties can come together and solve that problem. The other issue is how the state agencies should adopt proactive stakeholder engagement in National Gender and Equality Commission, GEC. Honorable Speaker, there are different type of what is currently happening for someone who is in Mandera, Turkana, or that matter even Marsabit, to get access to to television, to normal advertisement through newspapers. It's very difficult. We've asked them, we've urged them, we've requested them to advertise in the local vernacular stations. If you advertise through local vernacular stations, definitely so many young boys and girls will get access to employment. Honorable Speaker, you know, like I said earlier, the reason why these people don't want to go to vernacular radio stations is because before even they advertise, they have already made a decision that it should be on only a newspaper, and then they know who will come for interview, who will be employed, and those issues. And if we really love this country, this Senate should emphasize on the issue of regional balance in this country. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the state leadership also, this committee, we would like if possible, to amend some laws. We've already told the institutions who want assistance from Senate to bring forward the amendments and see how we can assist them. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I want to thank all the stakeholders who came before our committee. We had a very good conversation, and as usual, when they come to our committee, we invite them. As you remember, our committee, the first wording is cohesion. We talk to them nicely, and we tell them they are here because we want uniformity. We want to see how our people, young boys and girls, can get access to employment, our PWDs, and also women. So we've gotten a cordial relationship, we've discussed issues, and maybe in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, this country will be having a lot of the issue of managing our employment structures. Honorable Speaker, finally, let me also emphasize on one thing. Honorable Speaker, today, if you are a Kenyan, a young boy, a young girl who has just finished university, getting even experience of getting experience to join opportunities in institutions gets very difficult. What this government has done, and I want to say again, after going through what these investigations, what we've realized, Honorable Speaker, is that the issue of internship has helped our young boys and girls to get access to jobs because of the experiences required by institutions, even government agencies. So that one has helped and solved the issue of no experience, or how many years experience do you have. But what we need to do, Madam Speaker, as a country is today, if a young boy or a girl seeks for employment, do you know any politician? You must know a politician to get access to jobs. This, Madam Speaker, must stop. People come to our offices every day, even in Marsabit, like my office in Marsabit in Nairobi. Please help us get these jobs, but you have qualifications. Why don't you apply? And we need to have a discussion with Public Service Commission. In some instances, even each commissioner wants to bring his own relative. Madam Speaker, NCIC, some commissioners, when they were leaving, they left, I think, in November, they employed their children. Even some of them employed their own children. How can this happen? How do you expect your son and daughter, after finishing university, 8, 4, another 4, and then tamaking for another 4 or 5 years without a job? If you know a politician, you will get the job. If you don't know, Madam Speaker, this is a very serious issue. And this is something we need as a country. they should look at somebody's merit. Madam Speaker, there is a young man who came from Marsabit. He finished his university. He passed very well. And when he applied for the last 2-3 years. He cannot get access to employment because he doesn't have someone to push for his employment. Are we going to go that way? Are we going to continue that way? This must stop. That's why I want to tell the Senate today, as we table these documents, as we table this report, please let us give opportunities to our young boys and girls, regardless of who they know in the big offices. Finally, let me take this opportunity to thank my members, the clerks, we worked together for all those months, and also take this opportunity to thank the Senate for giving my Committee of National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity, and Regional Integration to carry out this exercise. And I want to say we've learned a lot, and I want to ask, before I forget, our Secretariat also have been working very hard. If you've seen, Madam Speaker, like this morning, many members were complaining they don't have quorum. I want to report to the Senate today, we've never missed a quorum. The minimum we have always in our meeting are 7. And you've heard this morning senators complaining about the issue of quorum, like JLAC. My committee has never missed a quorum, and I want to put that, I want to thank, that is due to my hard working members and also the chair. I want to ask the Senate to adopt this report and ask Senator Beatrice, my good friend, to second this motion. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Chair, following on the footsteps of the Honorable Senator of Marsabit, who is a ranking member of Parliament and the chair of this honorable committee. Honorable Chair, I'm privileged to second this report. And particularly, I'm privileged because it is a report that talks to the heart of every Kenyan and talks to the heart of everybody. Honorable Chair, as I second this report, I wanted to start by congratulating the new senator, the senator of Baringo, who was just sworn in this afternoon. I'd wished he would be here, Honorable Madam Speaker, but I would like to tell our new senator and colleague that is coming in against a footstep of a giant, the late Senator William Cheptumo, who I was privileged to have worked with in the Lands Committee, Madam Speaker. Senator Cheptumo was not only vast in his background, but Senator Cheptumo had a heart for all of us. And I remember when I joined the Land Committee as a new member of Parliament, Madam Speaker, Senator held our hands and we would consult with him. And he was open to everybody. So we welcome the new senator. And on the same spirit, I would like to give him also a kind of advice that in this work, you must also know on which side of your bread is buttered, Madam Speaker. That you must appreciate the people in your line of politics, your party that gives you an opportunity, your party leader, Madam Speaker, And Madam Speaker, I stop at that. Madam Speaker, I second this report. The Honorable Committee looked at 29 state agencies. I want to believe that was just a fraction of the entities that they should be looking at. Because, Madam Speaker, other than the state agencies, we have governments that we have, we have the public sector, but Madam Speaker, we also have the private sector. And I want to encourage the committee, as I second this report, that Honorable Chair, you must go ahead and not only look at the state agency, but also look at the private sector. Madam Speaker, the reason why I say this is because we do not have private Kenyans, Madam Speaker. We only have Kenyans whom we must ensure are treated well, are given opportunities, whether they are in the public sector or whether they are in the private sector, Madam Speaker. This report talks about inclusivity. Inclusivity, Madam Speaker, reminds us of our national values as enshrined in the Constitution of this Republic. I want to applaud the committee for having taken their time, that when you address the issue of inclusivity and diversity, you'll be solving a number of problems. You'll be addressing the issue of peace and unity that our forefathers have kept on preaching to us, Madam Speaker. When you include everybody, then you have a peaceful coexistence, you have a united group, and finally, you'll have a motivated workforce that will finally lead to job satisfaction, and everybody then gives their best, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the report talks about the committees about equal opportunities, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we have Kenyans, and Kenyans are Kenyans in no order, Madam Speaker. If we address the issue of inequality, Madam Speaker, in this country, we will be bringing in peace, as I have said. Inequality, Madam Speaker, is a recipe for hostility, is a recipe for violence, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if I reflect back on the year 2024 and the occurrence of what later became to be known as the Gen Z, when you look down and you intensively look at the challenges that the young people have, some of it is about insecurity, that we have young people that are graduating from institutions, but they are not secure. They are insecure. They feel that opportunities will not be granted to them in an equal manner. And so, Madam Speaker, that is why I say inequality is a recipe for violence. We probably need to do things right, Madam Speaker, so that we give all Kenyans an opportunity. But, Madam Speaker, think of it. I second this report, and as we talk about diversity and we talk about inclusivity, probably this should even begin at our institutions of learning, Madam Speaker. That equal opportunities must be given to different communities, irrespective of where they come from, so that at the end of it, we'll be having graduates that have diversity. At the end of it, when employers go out to do recruitment, there will be an opportunity for everybody. But, Madam Speaker, what are some of the measures that must be looked into? In the employment process, Madam Speaker, we must start to address the issue of diversity and inclusivity at all the stages of employment. The first thing, as adverts are made, adverts must take in their requirements, they must take in the issue of diversity. They must give room for inclusivity. When the selection panel sits in all those agencies, whether they are private or public, they must take care of inclusivity and the issue of diversity. When they do the interviews, Madam Speaker, whether it is the Public Service Commission, whether it's the Judicial Commission, whether it's the Parliamentary Commission, whether it is which employer, they must at that point at the interviews ensure that there is diversity and inclusivity. And lastly, Madam Speaker, in the process of making appointments, once interviews have been done, before the appointment letters are issued out, those aspects of diversity, inclusivity must be looked into so that we are able to solve this problem once and for all. Madam Speaker, there was a time, I'm a teacher by profession. My former employer, the Teacher Service Commission, was doing employment, and such factors as aging were taking place. It only ensured that people were employed in terms of their years of graduation. Madam Speaker, that gave applicants or job seekers the confidence that they need. Madam Speaker, because everybody was assured that if Beatrice Ogola had been employed and she graduated in this year, then I would be next in line. So there would be no need of panic running to every other person. The mover just gave certain examples, and he was very emphatic about politicians. But I want also to exonerate politicians like ourselves because of the expectations that we have from the public. Politicians equally are not employment bureaus, but because they have to attend to everybody, Madam Speaker. Some of us are also politicians, but Madam Speaker, we also have our children in our houses that are unemployed. But if we went ahead to practice integrity in this country, if we practice honesty in this country, if we gave everybody an equal opportunity in this country, then we'll be having a country that is very peaceful, a country that is very united, a country where we'll come to what my late party leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, preached in his last few years about think of your nation. Yes, think of your nation. Think as a Kenyan. Don't think as this tribe. Don't think as this crowd. Don't think as this community. Don't think, so that at the end of it, our state agencies, our private entities, our county governments, the public sector, and everybody will be giving an opportunity to all Kenyans in this country. Madam Speaker, there are also historical injustices that the senator indicated about certain communities having a prevalence. But these are people already employed, and we cannot, two wrongs cannot make a right, Madam Speaker. And so the employment agencies, the state agencies, must put in a measure that ensures that communities that have been disadvantaged are brought up to feel comfortable. And Madam Speaker, I'm talking about affirmative action. Can the agencies introduce affirmative action without displacing people already in employment so that communities feel like we all belong to this country? Madam Speaker, and that brings us to the marginalized, the minorities that feel discriminated. Madam Speaker, as a country, we must just emphasize on our values. And finally, Madam Speaker, let every Kenyan feel valued in this country. Let us preach peace. Let us preach unity. Let us respect leadership we have in this country, because the leadership is a symbol of our unity. Madam Speaker, I second.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate adopts the progress report of the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration into an inquiry on the diversity and inclusivity in the staff composition of state agencies in Kenya, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 3rd October 2024. I see Senator Cherarke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. I've read the report, and I'm happy with the committee's report. I think, Madam Speaker, this is the first committee that has decided to confront the elephant in the room. Yes. Madam Speaker, in my life as a ranking member of this House, this issue of employment, especially ethnic complexities in employment in our country, has been very sensitive issue. I want to thank Senator Said Chute, Elias Chute, Committee Cohesion, for this wonderful report. I've read the report, it is simplified. I think, Madam Speaker, since we neighbor in the Bunge Towers, I always see this one of the most active committees of our times, Madam Speaker. So I am happy. This issue of ethnic employment, issues of public service, many people would not wish to talk about. Even the issue of political appointments or political correctness, no one wants to confront about. And I want to pick out from where the seconder, my sister, Senator Beatrice Ogola Nyaroma Bay, has said on the issue of TSC. Let me begin from there, Madam Speaker. You know, Madam Speaker, I walk around and meet a 48-year-old P1 teacher who is yet to be employed, but that 2024, 2023 is employed, Madam Speaker. TSC must be called out. TSC is thinking to the highest heavens, Madam Speaker. I expect, Madam Speaker, the directions you will give, that the committee led by Said Chute, Elias Chute, should go and look at the architecture and design of TSC, Teacher Service Commission, Madam Speaker. I feel sad. I know of a guy from somewhere, Chepkunyungi, Nandi, 48 years old. Yeah. Never been employed. When you employ them, they are about young people to go. Madam Speaker. That's why they can only demonstrate. That's why they wanted to overrun Parliament, Madam Speaker. And I saw, Madam Speaker, a feature, and they were discussing, and they captured your comments. I think Bol Nabiswa in NTV, and you spoke eloquently that we must deal with this issue of young people, the youth in this country. They must be given opportunity. But how can we give opportunity if people at 60 years don't want to go home? Madam Speaker, I know of somebody who has only something in the eye, and they have taken PWD. They want extension of 5 years to 6 years. Madam Speaker, somebody tells you he's a PWD, but you don't see what is PWD. Unless other areas we cannot see, Madam Speaker. So we must be told, Madam Speaker, that why is the KEMSA, why is TSC, why is the KEMRI, majority of the employees of Public Service Commission in this country are older people. I don't have a problem with the older people. Let it go on record. I know the Constitution provides for their rights, Madam Speaker. In fact, under Article 57, older members of society are provided for. We are not against, but we want a gradual process. I want to ask Public Service Commission, and I want to thank former Cabinet Minister, Madam Shangazi Wataifa, what was her name? The name is former Malindi Member of Parliament. When he brought a secular, and I want to challenge the chair of committee to look for that secular, and said, if you reach 60 years, you must go home. It is there. But I know many people in Public Service Commission who don't want to go home. If you didn't build a house, it's not our problem. If you don't have your car, it's not our problem. If you didn't plan yourself for pension and your own retirement issues, it's not our problem. The country must move on. And I agree at the sentiments made by Nyaroma Bay about Baba, those comments he made in Thika at the funeral, that we must stop thinking in terms of tribe. You must think first as a Kenyan. And that is why I depart with the committee report that majority are Kalenjins and Kikuyus. These are Kenyans. They are not Kikuyus, nor Kalenjins, nor El Moloch, nor Somalis, Madam Speaker. These are Kenyans, and they are in those offices by merit. What we need to do, Madam Speaker, is affirmative action, as the second has suggested, and Senator Chute. Let us see how we can do. But, Madam Speaker, we must also see the population component. How do we address the issue of population? I know majority are the Luyas, but when you go to Luyas, they have sub-tribes. Like Kalenjins, they have 19. There is Nandi, there is Tugen, there is Kipsigis, there is James, there is the people from Mount Yelgon, there is even Tiriki, which are in Viga and Nandi. And Viga have frustrated my people, the Tirik, they have not been employed by county government of Viga. We have almost 16. You come to many tribes, and I hope when Senator Deputy ODM Deputy Party Leader, when he becomes the governor of Viga, God willing. And I was there, Madam Speaker, when Baba Raila Amolo Odinga gave him blessings to be the governor. I was in that rally. And he will be the governor. I will mobilize my people to make sure he is the governor. He will be able to ensure the Tiriki, who are part of colleges, get opportunities in Viga County government. And equally, since almost 2 to 3 wards belong majority are Luyas, I will ensure also when I become the governor of Nandi, Madam Speaker, I'll take care of these people for once and for all, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issue of PWDs, because I'll make only 5 points. This is my third point. Madam Speaker, almost all state agencies are full by 2%. The reading, and Madam Speaker, I'm happy you are also a lawyer like me, of course more senior than me, is if you look at Article 54, Part 2, the state shall ensure the progressive implementation of the principle at least 5% of the members of the public in elective and appointed bodies are persons with disabilities. Madam Speaker, you and me know, if somebody was to move to court under Article 24, Madam Speaker, most of these authorities, and I hope the chair, this is the time the chair of national cohesion should be writing, because I'm just dispensing pro bono legal advice. The authority, and this is authority of courts to uphold and enforce the Bill of Rights. So it means most of our public service state agencies, SAGAs, are unconstitutionally constituted. Madam Speaker, you remember in the last session, somebody moved to court to challenge the constitutionality of Parliament of the Republic of Kenya under the 2/3 gender rule, Madam Speaker. And we are yet to reach there. If today the Chief Justice, Mama Mother Koome, was bold enough, we would go home, all of us. Because we have violated the Constitution under the part of elective in terms of a third gender rule, Madam Speaker. So it is similar with the PWDs. Madam Speaker, I don't see representative of PWDs, but as all of us are elected, including you, to represent people living with disabilities. This is unfortunate. And I would have expected the chair of national cohesion in their report to call these committees out. I have seen they have called them out. But they should have taken punitive measures by saying in 90 days, or even in 60 months, or even a year, Madam Speaker, or 24 months, they should report back on the compliance. Because my worry, after this report is adopted, somebody can rush to court and challenge on the issue of PWD under Article 23 of the Constitution and under Article 54 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was there when you go to Mombasa, the government building, which has Huduma Center, you get birth certificate, death certificate, all your critical documents, including identity, they don't have PWD-friendly ramps that people living with disability can access Mombasa County Commissioner's office, just like in Nandi. Most of the government buildings, even ministries, Madam Speaker, are not complying with access of ramps for PWDs. Madam Speaker, in the last session, I was temporary PWD. And I know the pain that a PWD undergoes in this country. I have expected in this report. I was in that committee. The Deputy Public Service Commission came to the Committee of Cohesion. I would have expected in this report, and I know they can improve and amend, to direct that all buildings that are owned by government must and should comply with PWD access to those buildings, Madam Speaker. And I want to request your office, Madam Speaker, to allow this committee to do audits by visiting all the 47 counties to check on the status of both national and county governments and access their friendliness to use by PWDs, Madam Speaker. I hope your office and your secretariat is listening very keenly, that beginning after the Christmas, the New Year, the Committee of Senate Chute must go around the country and give us a report on the accessibility and PWD, Madam Speaker. Even in this, while we thank the President for the affordable housing program, this is the part that Senator Otsosi has a problem. But while we thank the President on affordable housing program, and I'm happy, Madam Speaker, I was with Senator Otsosi with the President when we visited Mbale. Was it Mbale affordable housing program, and he was happy about it. Madam Speaker, while we appreciate the government has employed 200,000 young people, I want to challenge the committee on another issue. Visit all affordable housing units, Madam Speaker, and bring us audit on the accessibility by PWD to most of these high-rise buildings done under affordable housing program, Madam. That is when Kenyans will take us serious. Madam Speaker, you should direct, before we break after the next session, the Committee of Chute should give us a report, compliance on affordable housing program, to ensure there is access by PWDs in this country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on these PWDs, we must take it serious. Even in hiring, Madam Speaker, I thought in the advert, and I was talking to Kirinyaga County Assembly, they have over 95% dominant community. Andua Nyumba. Most of them are coming from dominant 95%. But you find the advertising in Oro FM, Kameme TV, Kameme Radio, kuna sijui Mount Kenya Times. Madam Speaker, they need to advise in a newspaper of national circulation so that you and me, somebody from your home, because I know you are where you are married and where you are born, can access and ensure they access, Madam Speaker. So we need to ensure this issue of rectification of visit. And Madam Speaker, I can add another suggestion to the committee to also include KIPES, this aggregation. And I wish Senator Chute was listening. That the KIPES also, as they build aggregation zones, we must ensure they comply with access to PWDs, Madam Speaker. Number 4, Madam Speaker, on the issue of access, ACPO, access to youth, 50% or most of these state agencies have complied, the 30% to give to the young people, Madam Speaker, opportunities. Madam Speaker, but the problem I have, and you know, while I appreciate what the committee have done, I wish they would have gone for CR12. Madam Speaker, are you aware there are youth who are 60 years and doing ACPO in most of these counties? CR12, they need to give us an audit, and then if they have checked that, the 50% who have not complied with ACPO by these state agencies, they should tell us why. It is easy to complain. You know, Madam Speaker, it's hard when we discuss about the election. It is a bit because you will need guided democracy. Maybe say in 90 out of 6 constituencies, 3 must employ women, must elect women, but appointive or awarding tender. This is an affirmative and deliberate process that should be done, Madam Speaker. And therefore, in fact, I want to challenge Senator Chute that some of these state agencies, in fact, if the courts were to get hold of this report, most of them, Madam Speaker, will be that. And Madam Speaker, I want to appeal to Chief Justice Martha Koome that, you know, active cases should not be discussed outside the courtrooms. Madam Speaker, what we saw, they were discussing with members of National Assembly about the NGCDF case so that they can pass Post-Retirement Benefits Act for the judges, Madam Speaker. We must allow the prosecution of cases to be done within a courtroom, Madam Speaker. And you and me who went to law class appreciate that. So Chief Justice, Madam Speaker, should be called to order. She is presiding over a taxpayer's judiciary. And that is why most of the time judiciary is being accused of corruption. Because that is NGCDF, and I know Standing Order 101 I know that is where Chania is trying to take you to, but I'll leave it at that, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, apart from the AGBO, finally on internship, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to appeal. You saw JSS interns are demonstrating over the country. Senator Chute, can you save us? Parliament appropriated money to Teacher Service Commission to confirm 20,000 junior secondary schools interns into permanent and pensionable. I want to appeal to this committee to call TSC to appear before them and tell us why the JSS interns are being told to renew their contracts, contravening Article 41 of the Constitution of Kenya, or Article 41 of the Constitution 2010 of Kenya, and even Employment Act and Labor Relations Act, Madam Speaker. I have seen letters circulating from TSC that the current interns must renew for another 1 year, Madam Speaker. And it is 17,000. 17,000, what can you do with 17,000, Madam Speaker? I know people who eat lunch, big boys in this town of 20,000. Imagine you are giving 17,000 to live in Nairobi. Where will you live in Nairobi? Muguru kwa Njenga ama Muguru kwa Ruben? Madam Speaker, or Kibra? Where will you live with 17,000? That is why marriages are breaking, and these are young people who are starting their families. I was talking to one of them, and he said they no longer even have energy to do what God gave them to multiply. Because when they remember 17,000, they cannot rise up to the occasion, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, we must ensure these young people who are earning 17,000 only, there is no medical cover, there is no house allowances, there is no transport allowances. They are being given what you call stipend 17,000, Madam Speaker. It's unfair to these young people. Yet, Parliament, I want to ask Senator Chute, Madam Speaker, you allowed us to process a motion where you can mark and matter even in when you are recess, to call upon TSC and ask them why 20,000 young people of JSS interns have not been confirmed. If you do that, Madam Speaker, your future will be brighter and brighter the way it has always been, Madam Speaker. Finally, on the Public Service Interns Commission, Madam Speaker, on the issue of public service interns, I wanted to appeal, while Senator Chute was appreciating that many interns are being hired. Madam Speaker, these interns, and I want to thank this House, Madam Speaker, they agreed with me, and they agreed with me, Madam Speaker, and passed the resolution of improving on the stipend, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I wish to call Senator Cherargei to order in terms of your reference to the Chief Justice in the manner that you did. You are aware that that was inappropriate. I would want you to withdraw that so that it's expunged from the Hansard of the House. Senator Osotsi, I am actually guiding Senator Cherargei. Senator Cherargei is actually familiar with Standing Order 101. So please do the next.
Madam Speaker, I withdraw, but the point has been made. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that indulgence.
Not conditionally.
Okay,
not
I
conditionally,
withdraw.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
I withdraw and leave it at that.
Thank you, Senator Cherargei. You may proceed. And
I know Senator Otsosi will assist me. My brother, I am your neighbor, good neighbor.
Senator Cherargei, proceed with your...
Thank you. So finally, on public service interns, Madam Speaker, the same thing, 25,000. There is no medical cover, house allowance, transport allowance, Madam Speaker, other allowances, Madam Speaker, because it's only a stipend. I would have expected Senator Chute committee, and listen to me, my brother Senator Chute, if you want the young people of this country to remember you forever, you need to be creative with your committee and direct that Public Service Commission, whenever interns expire 12 months, you should direct that they should be transited to permanent and pensionable so that we don't lose. Madam Speaker, I'm aware even in Parliamentary Service Commission, there are many interns that are suffering. Yeah, even, Madam Speaker, I always wonder, we fight for interns outside there, but we have interns in Parliamentary Service Commission. Some of them, Madam Speaker, have stayed for 7 years as interns and contract. And this is the house of lawmaking. This is the house of defending the welfare of the poor. And most of our interns, most of our workers in Parliamentary Service Commission, the subordinate staff, I've stayed for 7 years without an employment. What are we saying? What are we telling the country? Madam Speaker, this is the epitome of representation of welfare of the country. I want to challenge Parliamentary Service Commission that people who are staying more than 2 years, 1 year because of contract and interns, this should stop. If we cannot hire, allow these children and young people to go their way. Stop playing with their dreams, Madam Speaker. People want to settle, people want to take loans, people want to build their lives the way we are doing. We are creating Shamba la Wanyama, Madam Speaker. We are creating that, where others are more equal than the others, Madam Speaker. So in terms, I want to challenge service, parliamentary national cohesion. Start with Parliamentary Service Commission, Madam Speaker. Start with that creativeness, Madam Speaker. And I want to say, even in Public Service Commission, come up with a directive so that our young people can be confirmed. Madam Speaker, seeing my lights is on, is over. I want to support this. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Senator Godfrey Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by congratulating the Committee of National Cohesion.
Senator Osotsi, just a moment. Hold on. Senator Osotsi, please proceed.
Madam Speaker, let me start by congratulating the Committee for National Cohesion and Equal Opportunities for this wonderful report that they have brought to this House. And indeed, I want also to say the chair of this committee, Senator Mohamed Chute, has demonstrated to this House how a committee that had been seen to be useless and not much progress can be derived from that committee can be very, very, very active, one of the most active committees in this House. He has been very innovative, coming up with issues, and I think if we adopted the same spirit in all our committees, I think this Senate will go places. And not just him, even members of the committee. I can see Senator Consolata is there, and even Senator for Turkana is there. You are doing a good job. I like what you are doing. Please go on like that. Coming to the report is well done because it has looked at the details of diversity and inclusivity in our public sector, looking at the issues of marginalized groups, issues of ethnic balance, issues of age, how many youth, how many older people are employed, and the issue of persons with disability. And of course, they have also focused on the youth. The report is a wonderful report. And they have looked at all the parastatals. My only concern is that while reading through the report, and this Senator Chute, you can guide me, I expected to see some of the most notorious institutions in government which have been blamed for violating the concept of diversity and inclusivity. This is Kenya Revenue Authority, this is Kenya Police, and the military. I didn't see much in this report, and if it is not there, Senator Chute, I will encourage you that to do a similar inquiry in those institutions, because we have had a lot of complaint about the issue of lack of inclusivity in those institutions. I know in the last parliament, the 12th parliament, there was a report that was done on KRA, and it was very shocking how we have a huge tribal imbalance in the human resources who have been deployed in KRA. And the same also applies to police. So I want to urge the committee to maybe prioritize when we come back from long recess on those institutions. Now, coming to the Kenya Police, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is very, very, very annoying that we take our youth for recruitment. These youth go to the various constituencies. They are put through a very strenuous program, and then they are left out. And then the list is just generated somewhere and people are paying money. This thing, when they started this current recruitment, they told us that this time it is going to be better than the other years. Madam Speaker, I want to tell you that the recent recruitment that was done for the police, for the military, was largely a scam. Because many of the deserving youth who were supposed to be taken in this recruitment were left out. Instead, Mr. Speaker, we have people walking around with the slots, saying, we are going to give this number of slots to parliament. We are going to give this number of slots to ministers. When are we going to do the right things as a country? When are we going to do the right things as a country? And Mr. Speaker, some parents have been paying money to people. Why can these people be arrested? In fact, Senator Chute, we would like you to come up with a statement, or your committee to investigate the recent recruitment of police and the military, so that we know how many numbers were recruited in every county, and we know the names of those people. Because we know some in my own county, we have people who don't stay in that county, and they have been recruited to the police. People from other regions. Mr. Speaker, this is where the problem starts. It starts with the recruitment process. When there is no fairness, then you will not have any inclusivity. So as we talk about this, we also need to look at our processes in government, processes of recruitment, processes of human resource management in our public institution. Then we will begin to understand the problem even deeper. Mr. Speaker, all this is happening, and yet we have institutions which we appropriate money to every year to help us ensure that the right thing is done in terms of inclusivity and diversity. We have the National Cohesion and Integration Commission. These people, we only hear them when the politicians make hate speeches. That is when you see them. What else do they do, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker? They are supposed to be looking at matters like this, ensuring that we have inclusivity and equal opportunities for our people in all sectors of our country. People like Ngek, National Gender and Equality Commission. What do they really do? If they cannot ensure that the Constitution is complied for in terms of the number of women who are supposed to be represented in these institutions. Do they have to wait for Senate or Parliament to do a study like this for them to act? No. They need to do their own work. And Madam Speaker, I know you are one of the people who are involved in ensuring that there is this new constitution is implemented. I want to say the independent commissions that we have failed this country. They are not doing their role. They are not independent. And one of them is like this Ngek and others. We have a body called the State Cooperation Advisory Committee. This is a body within the government which is supposed to provide internal oversight. What do they do, Madam Speaker? They're the ones who are supposed to be capturing anomalies like this. But now we are here talking about inclusivity in the public sector. Madam Speaker, the committee has done a good job to look at the numbers in terms of tribal. Madam Speaker, the Luya community where I come from, we are blessed because we have been able to give birth to many children. We are blessed in terms of population. We are probably the most populated community in Kenya now. But that is not reflected in our representation in a public institution. If you look at the list that has been given, we are either number 4 or number 5. The people who are above us are not even half our numbers. For example, the Kalenjins, they are topping in every list, in every institution, but they are not even half of the Luyas. This is where we have a problem, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I know time is running out. One of the issues that us as ODM canvassed for in the 10 points agenda was the issue of inclusivity in public spaces. This report suggests that we are still very far from ensuring inclusivity. I was saddened this weekend when I heard an individual standing up and saying that we are 50% done with the 10 points agenda. Madam Speaker, that is the highest level of dishonesty. The 10 points agenda, if I have to rate, nothing has been done. If we talk about NADICO, our youth died. We have talked about changes that we need to see in our election processes. We have talked about opening servers and many other things. Nothing has been done. How do you now come and tell us that 50% has been done? When we get reports like this, where communities are marginalized, communities are underrepresented, we are saying, and this I want to make it very clear, that the 10-point agenda was not a PR exercise. Those 10 points agenda must be implemented. UDA, wherever you are, starting from your top leadership, the party leader. You must know that ODM, we are taking the issue of 10 points agenda very seriously. And the deadline is March 2026. We know there is a committee that is supposed to review and give us a report. The committee does not even have a budget. Zani's committee, I don't know how they are working. I don't know who is doing the report. But we want this issue of 10 points agenda to be taken seriously because that is the legacy we can give Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. We cannot lie to the people that we respected Raila Amolo Odinga, and yet the 10 points agenda he put his hand on remains unimplemented. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, sorry, I want to strongly support the efforts of Senator Chute, the chair of this committee. He is unlike many of his colleagues who are on the government side. When something is wrong, he will say this is wrong. When something is right, he will say this is right. This is how legislators should behave. We should not become sycophants because we are on the government side. If you are given the chair role, do your chair role very well to the satisfaction of the people of Kenya. So congratulations, Senator Chute, but I want to encourage you to venture in those other sectors which have not been...
Do you want to be informed by Senator Wakoli?
Senator Wakoli, you know he has just been promoted today. Let me give him that respect to inform me.
Senator Wakoli?
Thank you, Honorable Osoti, for accepting my information. Honorable Speaker, it is to concur with the able chair, Mheshimiwa Chute, that he ably chairs that committee courtesy of the government, Kenya Kwanza. And when you see him boldly tabling and discussing these matters on the floor of the House, he is speaking what the government thinks. The government wants things to be equalized, communities to be given a fair share of the cake. And don't worry about the majority in the House. We are with you all the way. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Osose?
Thank you for telling me that, but I am saying that because I know many on the other side cannot do what Chute is doing because of fear of unknown. So, Honorable Chute, continue doing the good job you are doing. I know you are doing it under a lot of pressure, but this is Parliament, and that's how parliamentarians should do their work. Madam Speaker, I support.
I see no other contributors, so I'd like to call the mover to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker. Let me take this opportunity to thank members who have spoken today, who contributed to this motion: Senator Beatrice, Senator Chergey, Senator Sotsi, and also my two members who are here, Senator Consolata and Senator Lomanen. Before I move by reply, Madam Speaker, I want this House to take note of two institutions, institution which is Public Service Commission and NCIC. These are institutions who are mandated to audit other institutions. Madam Speaker, these institutions themselves, they have not complied with so many things, two-third gender rule, person with disability, minorities don't reflect the picture of this country. So I want to, as I thank my committee, the Secretariat, and the Senate, I want to talk about what Associ has spoken. He talked about KRA, Kenya Police, and the military. I want to assure this Senate that we are going to ask these institutions, KRA, are going to come before this committee, but Kenya Police Service.
Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 34-2A, I will extend a little time beyond 6:30 for the mover to finalize the reply. So
thank you very much.
Possibly 5 minutes after 6:30.
Thank you. I really appreciate, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank Senator Associ for the compliment he has given to my committee, and I truly thank him for telling this Senate and Kenyans that this committee was a committee who had previously had one meeting in 3 months. But, Madam Speaker, I want to today proudly say I have a committee who are always punctual, who are hardworking, and are there always with me, and we've been having 2 or 3 meetings in a day. And Honorable Speaker, you know what Senator Associ said is very, very important. There is a problem in National Police Service, the way they employ. And I want to assure the House and the Senator Associ, our leader, that we are going to ask them to come before the committee, and we are going to look at the previous and the latest employment. And we are going to publicize it. Yes, we have a problem, Madam Speaker. You know, I want to tell you today, we live in these communities. We know what is happening down there. Unfortunately, people, young boys and girls, families who are very poor, are being asked to pay up to 700,000 shillings, Madam Speaker. When is this going to stop? How are we going to stop this? It is for this House to look into how we are going to stop this menace. And I want to thank Senator Associ for challenging the committee. Please invite Kenya Police Service and look at the latest and even previous ones. And as he has said, we have looked at the Hallelujah community are the number 2 communities in this country. But if you look at the percentage they're getting, it's very minimal. Why is it so? It's because of the problem we've had, which are historical. But are we going to change this issue of historical? Let us not have excuses of historical, always. We don't want those people who are already there to be asked to leave. No. What we are saying is, because you have historical problems and we are now in current affairs, please deal with the issues today. So if we deal with those issues, Madam Speaker, I hope that the issue of regional balance will be solved. Madam Speaker, I want to talk about what Senator Sotia said, slots people carrying. That one we don't know as a committee. But what I will assure this House is that we are going to do our thorough investigation and come up with conclusive results. And this, let me also say, this is work in progress. The numbers we've given today, the organizations we've interviewed and had sittings together are 29. But we have done almost another 50. And it is work in progress, and I want to assure this House that in February, we are going to table a good report again on the other institutions. Having said that, let me thank Madam Speaker. Let me thank you, Madam Speaker, our Secretariat today, for being with us today. And I beg to reply, Madam Speaker, and request that the putting of question be deferred to a later date, pursuant to Standing Order 66.3. Thank you. I beg to reply. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Senators, it's now 6:32. We have acknowledged your request, and the putting of the question is deferred. Honorable Senators, it's now 6:32, and having concluded the business for which I extended the hours of sitting pursuant to Standing Order 34.2a, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Wednesday, 3rd December 2025 at 9 a.m.